This wasn't part of the plan, but I'm now considering a game week 22 wildcard, and this is why. Welcome back to another video, guys. I hope you're good and you're enjoying the idea of a little mini break with the FA Cup fixtures and a break from FPL. For many, the festive period has been brutal, for me included. Red arrows, red arrows, red arrows. We weren't really expecting this, but it's happened. And do we need to make changes? Well, of course, let's talk about the positives and negatives of a earlier than planned wildcard. I'm going to show you a 15-man wildcard team in just a second. I'm also going to compare that to my actual team and talk about the chances of me using it. But first, what are the positives? Well, when we wildcard often, it's later in the season and we might only get 7 or 8 weeks to maximize that wildcard by, say, wildcarding in game week 30. You have that fresh new team, but you only have it for a handful of weeks. By wildcarding now, you can utilize that fresh new team for a huge amount of time, for half the season effectively. Of course, you can jump on good fixture swings. You can jump on a lot of price rises, which is still happening right now. Price rises and the volatility in FPL, ups and downs in prices, happens in the first half of the season, around those 5 free transfers, and then again at the start of the second half of the season. As the season continues, price rises will be less volatile. The biggest negative, however, is there's going to be blanks, there's going to be doubles. There's a wider chip strategy in play with your bench boost, your triple captain, your free hit, and maybe a wild card plays a key cog in that strategy. For example, dead ending into a blank game week or a double game week and then wild carding out of it. And maybe keeping that wild card is a huge, huge plus. We often do it. I often do it because I want it to form part of that wider chip strategy around the blanks and the doubles. So look, positives and negatives, of course, but let's see at the personnel. How many changes are we making to our actual team? And there's no right and wrong answer here. This is completely team dependent. How many fires do you have to put out? Does it work for your team? That's always the $1 million question. Just because I'm wildcarding or not doesn't mean you should or shouldn't. So look, first, I always like to look at the fixture ticker first and foremost. Who's at the top of the ticker over the next 6 game weeks? And the reason I do 6, by game week 7, 8, or 9 after a wildcard, team looks very different anyway. So let's just look early on, how many changes would we be making? What teams would we be jumping on? Well, I look at the top of the ticker here. Chelsea, Crystal Palace. Don't have any Crystal Palace, don't have any Chelsea. Yes, I want both those teams heavily. Very, very good fixtures. I look at the bottom of the ticker and I'm like, okay, yeah, I've got a Brentford player. I've got a Newcastle player. I look at teams like Man City and Liverpool and and even United, I'm a bit underwhelmed by their fixtures. I look at teams like Aston Villa and I go, oh, okay, they've got 4 homes in the next 6. Should I be looking at an Aston Villa player? So definitely we'd be making wholesale changes, and there is a fixture swing in play here. But let's go through the personnel, shall we? So to do this, I'm going to go through position by position. Guys, I would love you to support the channel if you can by subscribing and commenting, but also do hit that like button. It massively helps the algorithm. But subscribe if you're new around here. That'd be amazing. But look, let's go through position by position, shall we? And I'm going to start in goal. Now, I am a David Raya owner. I bought him in on my game week 7 wildcard. If I was wildcarding, would I get rid of Raya? Absolutely. The reason being, Raya has a ceiling of 6. When he keeps a clean sheet, he doesn't often get 7, 8, 9, 10 points. He doesn't get the bonus or the save points. His ceiling is 6. His floor is 2. When you look at a lot of the cheaper goalkeepers in the league, as we've seen recently with Dubravka, we've seen recently with Verbruggen, we've seen recently with Kelleher especially, 4.5 million, these two, the last 2, and their ceiling is 10 or 11. Yes, they might get more 2s than Raya, but they'll also get way more than 6 when they keep a clean sheet. They'll get the save points, they'll get the bonus. And I'm all about the ceiling, and I made a big error on Raya. So, look, yes, Arsenal will keep clean sheets, and I want double Arsenal defence, but I don't want that defence to be defender plus goalkeeper. I want that to be double defence. So, look, goalkeepers, I'm looking at Sanchez. And I'm looking at those fixtures, by the way, guys. And I look at Chelsea's fixtures, and again, we've got 4 homes from the next 6. Right? Homes against Brentford, West Ham, Leeds and Burnley. Surely there's 2 or 3 clean sheets in those 4. And then an away trip to Wolves and an away trip to Crystal Palace. Like there could be 1 clean sheet there. I fancy Chelsea for 3 to 4 clean sheets in the next 6. My biggest question mark is with a new manager. New managers can change things up. We don't know if Rosenior is going to go with Sanchez. I very, very, very much expect him to, but we know he asks his goalkeeper to play a lot and become a bit of a sweeper and part of that back 4. Sanchez is not brilliant with his feet. De Zerbi dropped Sanchez for Verbruggen for that reason at Brighton. However, I don't think Chelsea have got many other options, and Jorgensen's not amazing with his feet anyway. So look, Sanchez is in, and I genuinely think he'll keep the number 1 spot, and I don't see Chelsea buying a keeper this window. So I just expect clean sheets. It saves you a ton of money. Of course, there are other 4.5 million options, but 4.9, I think Sanchez is incredible value and he's cheaper than most of Chelsea defenders. Cucurella, expensive. Reece James, expensive. Chalobah, expensive. They're the three you'd look at. You save money on Sanchez. If you think he's going to start, you could definitely go there. Of course, Dubravka's the best backup because he actually gets minutes at 4 million. So look, that's where I'm at with kind of the goalkeepers. But let's talk defenders now, because there is one defender that's been a real loss to the game in the last month or two because we've not had him in action, and that is Daniel Munoz. Guys, I wildcarded him out in game week 7 when he went on this run. 8-10, 2-6, 6-14, 1-14. He's arguably the best defender in the game. He's the only defender in the game that offers the open play assist and goal threat to this level. Now, I was happy to start the season. Game weeks 1 to 6, I owned Munoz. And I owned him because I didn't care about the fixtures. I was like, he's a winger. As long as Glasner is his manager, I want Munoz in my team, right? That's how I saw it. Because under Glasner, he plays like a wide forward. And under Glasner, he will return as a wide forward for the second part of the season off the back of this injury. I think he's going to be available for game week 22. If he's not, you have him for game week 23 anyway. The fixtures for Palace, as we've seen, they're right at the top of the ticker there. So sure, I might not get game week 22, but by game week 23 I get. And then by 24, you're very, very confident. And it's Forest, Brighton, Burnley and Wolves. Yes, please, for Daniel Munoz, who offers, again, we talk about ceiling. Very few defenders offer this type of ceiling, where he can go in any given 2 or 3 game week sample, go and get a double-digit haul. We saw it. Game week 8, double digits. Game week 12, double digits. Game week 14, double digits. He's an absolute beast. And I want him back in my team. And at 5.8 million, by the way, he's cheap. He's cheap at 5.8. He's dropped in price since he's been out. Double Arsenal defence. If you're losing Raya, I don't want to lose my commitment in Arsenal. Now, I talked about ceiling with Raya, 6 points. The ceiling for Gabriel is clearly way higher than 6, and I think Gabriel is the best defender in the game. He's the only defender that offers the goal threat, the assist threat, the bonus points, and the def con. Even more so than Munoz. Now, Munoz is all about open play. Gabriel's attacking threat is all about set pieces. But Arsenal happen to be the best set piece team in the league by some distance. Rice's delivery, Saka's delivery, and Gabriel just being an absolute animal when he attacks the ball. 6.5 million is worth every penny. Now, Jurrien Timber is 6.3 and also a bit of a unicorn defender. He doesn't quite get DEFCON to Gabriel's level, and he doesn't have the set piece threat of Gabriel, but he does come with open play threat. He is high and wide on the right-hand side. He's allowed to get forward. He's a talented footballer, and he's still a nuisance in the opposition box. He might not be the tallest, but he still gets chances. I think Timber is considerably better than Saliba, considerably better than Calafiori, only because of Calafiori's fitness. He's worth the extra 0.2, 0.3 on Saliba and 0.5-ish on Calafiori. Timber and Gabriel is the dream combo. We saw it against Liverpool. Doesn't matter what fixture Arsenal have, they will go up against the best teams and they will grind out 0-0s or 1-0 wins. It's what they do. It's what they do. That I don't need to show you defensive numbers on Arsenal. You all know they're the best defence in the league, and second half of the season, they're going to keep bundles of clean sheets. Don't worry too much about the fixture ticker with Arsenal. They've just played Liverpool, kept a clean sheet very, very comfortably. The highest XG against them from an individual player was Dominic Szoboszlai, who got 0.2 XG. They do not concede chances, really, and they certainly don't concede big chances or many goals. Then we're going to talk Tarkowski. Again, DEFCON beast. Better at DEFCON when Michael Keane is out the team. Michael Keane is suspended for the next couple of weeks. He's expensive, sure, but Everton under Moyes tend to keep clean sheets. And again, I look at some of the fixtures like Bournemouth at home, Leeds at home. Good enough fixtures to go Tarkowski. It feels like the floor is often 3 or 4 points because DEFCON is so likely. Again, DEFCON is better with no Michael Keane. 2-match ban, I think, in the Premier League for pulling hair. Michael Keane got the red card. By then, Branthwaite could be back in. Branthwaite and Tarkowski is a better defensive pair than Tarkowski and Keane. That will see more clean sheets and it will see more DEFCON for Tarkowski. And then Mukiele's just been set and forget for me since my wild card. He's not going anywhere. Absolute awesome player. Plays right back a lot, annoyingly, because he's better at centre back for DEFCON. But even at right back, he often gets DEFCON. Sunderland like defending. He likes keeping clean sheets. It's a match made in heaven. I paid 4 million and I'm very, very happy there. I would urge anyone looking for a budget defender not to look at Leeds or Burnley defenders. Look at Sunderland, but better than Alderete is, for me, Mukiele, who's got a bit of attacking threat when he does play right back, at least. So look, that's the defence. It is big, right? often I'd be playing a back four. Like, you're not going to want to bench a Tarkowski or Minoz, or at times a Mukiele. There'll be a back four or a back five in play very, very often. And again, Minoz is red flagged and might not be available for game week 22. That's absolutely fine. It saves me a transfer in 2 weeks' time when I go, I want to buy Daniel Minoz. Well, now I just start with him and I bench him because I've got players like Mukiele at home to Palace. Tarkowski away to Villa, I think is fine. Happy there. And if I wildcard, genuinely, I would be going big at the back. We'll talk about at the end of this video the chances of me hitting the button because I'm going to compare it to my actual team. So stay tuned for that. But let's just talk midfielders and start with someone that's perhaps one of the main reasons why many will want a wildcard, because they don't own this guy, Bruno Fernandes. Now, this is the average position map for the first game without Amorim. Shock, it was a back four. Shock, it was Bruno playing number 10. Amorim never played Bruno as a 10, and he never really played a back four. Now, Bruno as a 10 is going to get more goals, more assists. He's already an amazing FPL asset. We've seen it this season. Well, Bruno as a number 10 is even better. There's no argument there. Now, sure, he will lose some defensive contributions. He only got 3 defensive contributions against Burnley. If you play him in the slightly deeper role, say Agate's role next to Casemiro, he still has the open play threat because he's Bruno Fernandes. But he's 15 yards deeper. He gets the DEFCON, but he won't get as many goals or assists. As the number 10, he will. That makes him just the best midfield pick in the game, probably, for me now, if he's going to carry on playing 10, and I believe he will. Man United fixtures are fine. Like, they're not the best. You take away City and Arsenal, the next 2, and that is game week 22 and 23. You take those 2 out in the ticker, and they jump right up to the top of the ticker. So as soon as you play game week 22, 23, you get to 24, again, many will look at a wildcard 24, and I'm going to discuss that at the end of this video because Man United, right at the top of the ticker. Chelsea fixtures, still very good. Okay? We'll talk about that. Bruno Fernandes, legit option. Legit option. You want him as soon as possible. He's even had a little bit of a price drop since he's been out injured. Guys, if you're unsure about when you're wildcarding, drop a comment, by the way, and I will get back to you. Oh, by the way, I've also left a QR code on screen for my channel memberships. If during the break you're bored and you want to watch more content from me, there's not going to be much FPL content over the next few days by YouTubers. I'm going to be doing daily videos, members-only videos, 3 minutes on individual stuff. Like I might do 3 minutes on the Chelsea attack or 3 minutes on a wildcard idea or chip strategy or whatever. So do check out the members. You can click join below. Other midfielders. Common theme occurring. These are the best performing midfielders in the game so far this season. Declan Rice tops the charts, followed by Semenyo, Bruno G, Bruno, and fair play, Wilson and Rodgers, who have been, Wilson especially, a proper differential. These are the top 11. Now, from the top 11, you've got one defensive midfielder in Gravenberch. Fair enough. Gravenberch has done an amazing job. You've got a few wide forwards, Semenyo, pretty much Semenyo, Rodgers playing off the left a lot, but you could argue a 10. And then you've got inside forwards like Wilson, Rodgers, a wide forward Saka. But what you have got is 5 number 8s in the top 11. These players are box-to-box, number 8, and they're getting the points this season. Now, we overlook number 8s. We look at number 8s and we go, well, they're not high enough. They're not in the box enough. They don't shoot enough. They don't have high enough XG. And we see number 8s often as not brilliant FPL assets. Now, often they're 7 million, as we'll see with Declan Rice, with Bruno Fernandes, 7 million. Garner's 5, Enzo's 6.5. Bruno Fernandes has been playing as an 8 under Amorim. We all know he's a 10 naturally, but playing number 8 and still getting the points. These guys are often, in this case, on set pieces. Some of them are on penalties, and they're getting licensed to get forward by their managers this season. Declan Rice is way higher up than we've seen in years gone by. Bruno Guimaraes is way higher up than we've seen. The second half of last season, we started seeing it. Tonali and him swap positions. Talani's now the 6. James Garner at Everton's box-to-box number 8 now because he's playing alongside Idrissa Gana-Gueye, who sits. Enzo Fernandez under Liam Rossini is going to be even more attacking. I think he'll play number 10. Again, he's often playing with Caicedo and Reece James protecting him. Enzo given license. Palmer probably playing on the right under Rossini. With all this in mind, these number 8s, we need to change the way we think about number 8s. They are attacking, they're on set pieces, they're getting the points, they're good for DEFCON. They've never been able to benefit in that metric in other seasons. And number 8s might not look as sexy on paper. We like our wide forwards and our number 10s. It's why many of us own Saka over Rice. Why do we own Saka over Rice? Because he's a sexier pick. He plays out wide. Well, what he doesn't do, Saka doesn't often or doesn't always get 90. Rice does. Saka's £3 million more than Declan Rice. Declan Rice gets more DEFCON than Saka. And open play, goal threat, they get about the same. Oh, Saka was meant to be on pens. He only gets 50% of them, and Rice takes most of free kicks. Let's view number 8s differently. And in this wildcard team, you're going to see 3 or 4 number 8s of my 5 midfielders. Yeah, let's change the way we think about it. So Bruno Fernandes is 1. There's a following 3 to come in. We're going to go Declan Rice. We're going to go Enzo Fernandez. 6.4 is unbelievable value. And we're going to go Bruno Guimaraes. Now, Lewis Miley's there as an enabler, who, ironically, when he does play, is often a number 8. He's been playing right back with Livramento out, but he'll come back in at number 8, and he's been amazing. Let's go Declan Rice first. I've just pretty much covered Rice, haven't I? Unbelievable asset. I cannot believe Rice has outperformed all other midfielders to this level. 122 points. Like, phenomenal. I think that continues as well. He's getting into all the right positions. Enzo Fernandez is so cheap, and Liam Rossinho is very likely going to play Reece James and Caicedo and Enzo in a midfield 3 with Enzo given license. He's very likely going to play Palmer off. I say off the right. Not as a wide forward. Palmer will invert. But if Liam Rossinho picked the team, right? He picked the team against Fulham. He was in the stands. He didn't manage. He wasn't on the touchline, but he did pick the team. And he picked Palmer on the right, and he picked Enzo as the 10. And Cucurella got sent off, and we weren't properly able to establish what they're doing. But rather than go with the 2 wingers that Maresca did in Garnacho and Pedro Neto, or Estaviao, Rossini's only going with 1. He went with Pedro Neto, and then he went with Palmer drifting in. It makes Enzo a better asset. Now, sure, Palmer's the best Chelsea asset because he's the best Chelsea player, but he costs an extra 4 million than Enzo. Bit like with Saka Rice, you've got to appreciate value as well as output. I'm very happy there with Enzo at 6.4. And by going Enzo and not going Palmer, I can then have Bruno Fernandes in. I can then have a big back line. I can have a very big front line. Wait for the front line. And then Bruno Guimaraes is just, well, he's been a cheat code, hasn't he? How has Bruno Guimaraes got this many points? I don't quite know, but he's got away of getting the points. And I don't want to think that that's going to come to an end because I don't think it is. About a month ago, I said I'll never buy Bruno Guimaraes. Rubbish pick. He's jamming all these points. It's becoming a habit. And when it becomes a habit over time, you've got to think it's not just a coincidence, it's not just a one-off. This is going to reoccur, and I think it reoccurs. And now Newcastle, we can see, they've got good enough fixtures at the bottom of the ticker there, but only really because it ends with Man City. The ticker in 27 is Man City, but if you take Man City out and just have a look at the next 5 game weeks, Wolves and Villa up next, trip to Liverpool is hard, but then it's Brentford and Tottenham. Fine. Newcastle are looking good. 4 goals. They're not keeping clean sheets, by the way, for all those with Newcastle defenders. Conceded 3 at home to Leeds, but they are scoring goals. They scored 4. Bruno Guimaraes could be an interesting option. Gordon and Barnes, sure. And then Miley just as an enabler. In your wildcard, you're going to need 1 4.5 million attacker, right? You need it to be an attacker that actually plays, so when you bench boost, you get their points, but have a dead spot. Lewis Miley is effectively a dead spot here. It could be a forward, though. And there are 2 amazing 4.5 million forwards. Krupi Jr. is going to start most of the second half of the season, I think, if fit. And Mane at Wolves is going to start a ton of games at 4.5. So 4.5 forwards are brilliant, and you could absolutely have one of these 3 forward spots as a 4.5 enabler. Because I've got Lewis Miley in that slot, I don't need it. But your 8th attacker should be a 4.5 midfielder or forward. I've gone with midfielder, which I think most would disagree with. I think most of you would say, no, put Mane in there and have 5 midfielders. But there wasn't 5 midfielders I desperately wanted. And there is 3 forwards I really want. So I've gone Miley, who, by the way, as I mentioned, has been Newcastle's best player in the last month. Genuinely up there with Bruno Guimaraes as the best player. Howe keeps him on the pitch at all times, whether he's right back or centre mid. He's in the first 11 now. He really is. And he's been a DEFCON beast for me. He's last 2 games, I've needed him off the bench. And he's come up with DEFCON in a big way. Like 17 and 18 DEFCONs a game. Mad. So, forwards. Thiago is not in. And this is going to cause a lot of hate. You guys are going to hate me for it. I know Thiago's been amazing. And I know he's got 5 goals in the last 2 games. But before that, he had 3 or 4 games where he did very little. I don't think it's sustainable. I don't think Brentford is great as they have been the last 2 games, but they've been brilliant. Fair play, Brentford. I regret selling Thiago. I wish he was in my actual team because I sold him before these 2 games where he got 17 and 12. But I look at the next 5 fixtures and I very much make my choices on fixtures. And that is as tough a 5-game run as we'll see. Chelsea, Forest, Villa. So away trips to Chelsea and Villa. Home to Forest is good. But away trips to Chelsea, Villa and Newcastle? And then at home to Arsenal? Boy, that's tough. I reckon Thiago, honestly, I could eat my words here. I reckon we get 1 or 2 goals in the next 5. And I know he's just had 5 and 2, and this could massively sting me, but I'm going to just say it. I genuinely don't think I'll be picking Thiago on wildcard. There, I said it. Let's move on because I had to address Thiago because all you guys are going to comment. Stay tuned, by the way. I'm going to go through my team in a minute. The reason I don't have Thiago, we're not going to talk Haaland, is I really want Ollie Watkins. I love the Ollie Watkins fixtures. And again, I've just said I'm a fixtures manager. Well, check out Villa's fixtures. I know they're like, 8th in the ticker? But it's the home games. Under Emery, they're so good at home. Watkins is so good at home. 4 of 8 at home. Everton at home. Brentford at home. Brighton at home. Leeds at home. At Villa Park, Watkins scores goals and he's getting the chances now. The data's all looking much better. The eye test is looking much better. Watkins is going to get points in these fixtures. He's like 10% owned. Oh, and then it's wedged between away trips to Newcastle and Bournemouth. Fine, not the easiest. But the 4 home games are big for Villa. I think they beat Everton, Brentford, Brighton and Leeds at home. I really do. So why not punt on Ollie Watkins, guys? I think we can do it, can't we? I think we can punt on Ollie Watkins. 13% owned, 8.7 million. Fixtures there. No one's really buying him because he's just blanked versus Palace. Every wildcard needs a bit of spice, right? This is a spicy pick. It's a spicy pick because very few in your mini league will have him, and you're shifting funds in a different place here. Most on wildcard will go Haaland plus Thiago plus a 4.5. Here, we're going no. We're going a different structure. We're going Haaland, we're going Watkins, and the third slot, we're going to a 6 million. Again, a spicy pick, and it's a bit risky because we're talking about new managers here. But Liam Delap. Rafinha loves him. He had him at Hull. He had him as a kid, right? He was a kid. This is 3 seasons ago. He played him on the right a lot. He scored about 8 goals in 30 odd games. Fine. But as a number 9, I think he's Rafinha's number 9. He played 90 against Fulham as the number 9. Liam Delap never played 90 under Maresca in the Premier League. Well, first game of Rafinha, who did pick the team, played 90, scored the goal. João Pedro is not a number 9. João Pedro's a 9.5 at best, but he's really a 10. João Pedro does not want to run in behind. João Pedro wants to come short, get on the ball. What Rafinha did at Strasbourg, and this tweet from Chewy FPL shows it, they like playing in behind. They like having the number 9 on the centre-back, on the last man, receiving balls between goalkeeper and last man at defence. Delap is very good at running the channels. And he's very good at asking for the ball in behind and latching onto stuff. João Pedro's not that profile. You can't really ask João Pedro to do that job. If he's going to set up like he did at Strasbourg, and I think he will, then Liam Delap's going to be his first choice number 9. And given the fixtures, the Chelsea fixtures, Brentford, Palace, West Ham, Wolves, Leeds and Burnley, if Delap starts all those games, boy, does he score goals. Now, he's not probably going to start them all. But even if he starts 5 of them at 6 million, it's a bit early to punt. It's a little bit early to punt on Sanchez and Delap because we don't quite know what Rafinha's planning. But if I'm right, and Sanchez is the first choice goalkeeper, surely, and Delap's the first choice number 9, then a combination of Enzo and Delap is better than owning Cole Palmer, in my opinion. Very excited about this potential pick. So look, that's where I'm at with Chelsea. Let's talk about my actual team now. Let me know what you think this wildcard. If you have enjoyed this video to date, guys, do hit that subscribe button. I've got some awesome content planned for the next couple of days, and I'd love you interview with the best content creator this season so far. You want to watch that. Be out on Monday, I think. Maybe Sunday. My team. Do I wildcard or do I wait a couple of weeks? I'm not committing until after the FA Cup fixtures. If I do wildcard, it'll be a later pick. Annoying for team value. The reason I'm on the fence and the reason I'm probably hedging at the moment to not wildcarding is my triple Liverpool play Burnley. My team, I've got 2 free transfers in the bank with this team. This team can get better. My team without the 2 free transfers looks all right this week. In fact, I quite like Ekatike captain if he's fit. But I need to see the FA Cup first. If I wildcard, I'm taking those 3 Liverpool out straight away. If I wildcard, I could look at game week 24. Game week 24 allows me to pick 3 Chelsea, but I will know if these 3 Chelsea work. I'd have seen Rossinha for 2 games. I can commit to Sanchez because I know he's first choice. I can commit to Delap because I know he's first choice. I can commit to Enzo because he's number 10. I can also have an entry point of Bruno Fernandes rather than playing Man City and Arsenal, going on an amazing run of fixtures, Bruno. What I won't get in game week 24 is I probably missed the boat on Ollie Watkins by then. Maybe. And I probably don't go Bruno Guimaraes. Maybe. But I still have Daniel Munoz back fit. I still have double Arsenal defence. I still go triple Chelsea. And Tarkowski's there or thereabouts. So the 24 wildcard could be the play because it allows me triple Liverpool this week. And I think it's the triple Liverpool, which is the only reason I'm not wildcarding. I think that's where I'm at. Maybe Ekatike's out injured. And if Ekatike's injured and we hear that, maybe I'm forced into a wildcard and I do it. But at the moment, I'm not committing either way, but I'm genuinely tempted. I'd say I'm probably about 30% likely to wildcard now, more likely to wildcard in 24, and then there's a chance of wildcard later down the line. But let's see and watch this space. That's my team. That's my wildcard draft. I've been Gianni Battici. Thank you for watching. You guys have been awesome. Hit those buttons on the way out, and I'll see you very soon for another video. Bye-bye.